Hi, I'm Radish Hearts. That feels weird saying. I don't usually say that a lot. I don't think I really said that aloud, really, ever. Anyways, hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's lovely to have you here. I'm glad you came. If I don't know where you've come from, maybe I was from the YouTube homepage, maybe you were just looking at my channel because you've seen one of my recent animatics. Wherever you came from, maybe you're here. I don't know how you got here. But thank you for coming here. Thank you for being here. Today I'm just drawing Scar, which is probably a bad idea. I'm drawing him right now while I'm talking, and I get really distracted when I'm talking. So this is not a good idea. I don't know why exactly I've decided to do this, but it's happening. That's what's happening. I don't really know what I'm going to talk about, but I feel like I can talk around in circles for days. So let's see where we go with that. I guess the most likely reason is you've seen one of my animatics from the past 2 weeks. If you're wondering how I did that, it's because I'm insane, and also because I just had time on my hands, and that's what happens when you give me time and space and a good series. Also some determination to prove myself. I've been wanting to do an animatic like what I've done in the past week for like ages, like literally 6 years. Ever since I started digital art, like this was back in 2018 when I was a bright young year 7, I was like, I need to do an animatic. I saw so many people on YouTube doing them, like so many artists that I really admired. My art, it was interesting, but I was determined. And yet somehow, despite years going by, I never did. Literally 6 years. My entire high schooling period, I was like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then I never do them. It's been a while coming. But I'm really glad that Secret Life got to be one of the first animatics I made, especially Lizzie. I loved her story arc, even if it was very short-lived, unfortunately. It was great to see it play through, and I was really glad at how well it was received by people. I was a little nervous because, to be fair, it was a little interesting. Some of the frames there, even in my most recent animatic, I cannot stand to look at that Enderman, and there is no joke in that. It's I think he looks a little interesting, and but oh well, we move on. Yeah, so I spent 6 years wanting to do an animatic, and then I don't know, I got really caught up in, I watched a lot of tutorials on them. I'd seen a lot of animatics. If you've probably seen Satis animations on YouTube, I've seen my friends go and do their own animations, animatics, etc., and it looked excruciating. Like the amount of, like, even just slowing down someone's video and looking at the frame by frame, like changing, it was so much, and it terrified me. I was so afraid because I'm not good at, I am actually very good at sitting down for long periods and concentrating. That's why I do art, but I am not good at doing that for longer projects. So I especially because I'd seen people like on their tutorials and videos saying how long it took them, how boring it was at times, and how excruciating it was to get through it, and I was like, oh no, that is going to be me. And then every single time I've attempted it, it's gone to the trash can, or it's sitting in my whip folder for some rainy day that I never got to. But I finished one, so that's good. The only thing I did was I had free time after I graduated. So I sat myself down in a dark, well, not a dark room actually, it was pretty bright, but I sat myself down and I wrote the entire script out, or the lyrics when it came to the second one I made. And I annotated everything, and I tried thumbnailing for both of them, but it's really not my thing. I'm not into it. I hate drawing tiny boxes. There's so much effort. I hate drawing like straight lines. They're so annoying to do. I respect people who can do them though, and I wish I was you. Yeah, thumbnailing was not for me. And so I just kind of cracked down and went drawing. And for my first one, that worked really well. I mean, it doesn't look like my piece de resistance or whatever. Like, it's not my favorite. Like, it looks very chicken scratchy because of the stylus I'm using right now. My Apple Pencil broke. But it turned out well. It was well enough to motivate me to do it a second time, because I was like, I saw the reception of it. I saw how, like, me watching it myself, I was reviewing it and I was like, actually, this is good. It's not the prettiest, it's not the most gorgeous piece of art, it's not the Mona Lisa, but it's certainly not, but it's got its charm in it, I think, and it looks better than the Enderman on that one thing. Blue, okay, we're using blue now. When I was doing the second one though, when I was working on it, I technically did thumbnailing, but the thing was, I just like drew in the entire animatic beforehand, and then I went over it in like a second layer on top of it, and I did like kind of a line art, but it was more of a sketch by the end of it for all of them, and that worked better. But the thing is, with how my brain works, I can't plan things fully. Like, whenever I'm creating a piece of media or have an idea to create something, I plan out a lot of it, but if I plan out the entire thing, I get antsy and I just cannot finish it, because I'm like, I know everything that's gonna happen in my brain up in there. It's like, I know, and I've done it even though I haven't done it. So for the last one I did, Secret Life episode 6, the animatic to When the Chips Are Down from Hadestown. Shout out to that, it's a great musical. I just went in and I did not plan the last, like, I think it was 30 seconds of it, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when I was down to like the third day of doing it, and I was like, I had about maybe 3 hours until my personally set deadline of uploading it. I had no plans for it, and I went ham with it. That was probably like one of my favorite parts of doing it. I was sitting down in my room and I was drawing as fast as I could those frames where Jimmy passes on the curse to Lizzie, and also the parts with the Watcher and him watching all the people. And that was really fun to get in there, and I feel like that motivated me to finish the animatic, because I feel like in the future maybe I'll be able to plan animatics fully out, but while I was just starting out, I still needed that like incentive in my mind where I'm like, I still get to be creative, I still have that creative freedom to do this product however I need to finish it. And it worked. I love it. I like it. It was really fun to complete. I had a lot of fun seeing people's reactions to it, and it's definitely given me a reason to remember that there are other avenues I can experiment with my creativity, and that I don't have to be just limited to one aspect of what I know I can do. I think the main thing I want to do with my life, my career, my aspirations, my channel, my art, is I want to become a storyteller, and I don't really care what medium that is in. I have tried and I continue to do it writing, I continue to do my art, I've tried comics, literally anything that I can personally do myself, I would love to be able to do it as an avenue to like become a storyteller. My dream job, for lack of better phrasing, or job title would to be a storyteller. I feel like that is the most interesting, and most versatile, because really storytellers are artists, storytellers are they're kind of all of us in a way. I think there's not a single person in this world who doesn't have some sort of story to tell. So I set my expectations both high and low for that one. But yeah, having animatic making under my belt as something that I can potentially do is kind of not necessarily a relief. I don't think that's the right word, but it makes me kind of proud to know that I have options in whatever avenues I decide to take my stories in the future, whether that includes my OCs, whether that includes making fan content, or whether that's just messing around with my friends. And I don't know what stories I'm going to tell in the future. I'm not sure which ones are going to remain in my head, which ones are going to go out there, and I have no idea what's in store for the future, to be honest, which is kind of scary as a graduate of high school going into university. But I think that's something that everyone experiences, at least a bit, like an uncertainty of the future, and that's okay. Every person has it. I'm cool with it. I hope you've enjoyed for however many minutes this ends up to be. I've rambled for quite a while now, so we'll see what makes the cut. As of right now, I'm not finished, so I don't know what it will turn out to be. Anyways, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you would like to see more of this, more of my animatics. Check those out too, if you would like. And yeah, thanks for tuning in.